Sometimes this little human self can be such a brat, as you know. It can seem to work against you. Sometimes it rebels. Sometimes it stomps its foot and says it won't have any more of this fluffy, airy-fairy stuff. Other times, it becomes very clever. Very clever indeed. It says, oh, but true full God self, I own you. I made you. I am the human. I have the mind. I have the body. You have nothing. You are a figment of my hallucinations. I own you, and therefore I am. I take ownership of our spiritual journey, because without me, you wouldn't even be having one. So it tries to claim the spirituality. Oh, that is a very interesting situation, a kind of a reversal of energies, where that little human self then starts feeding on your spiritual journey, starts controlling it, starts getting into its story, using it to expand its story. It feels somewhat stuck and definitely sickening. It feels like there's an insatiable appetite to continue feeding on the spiritual puffery, the spiritual I stand on a grander place than you stand. It can't continue to feed that appetite, so it continues to do even more crazy things, even more dramatic things.
I have an urgent question. I'm a spirit-guided woman and I live in Colorado. Although I have only been here for a little over a year, I felt certain God sent me here to find some kind of life here with great purpose in helping others. I used to be a social worker and I did much for others. During that time I was under the tutelage of a holy man and my third eye chakra opened up for a while. Now I can no longer live there and have no place to go. I work very hard at whatever I do and have 2 college degrees and am a very good cook at home, but with no car right now or license. I need some place to live, and if anyone takes me into their home, they will be so glad I know this. There you go.
Inflated spiritual ego. Your little human self, your limited human self has come in and taken over this whole concept of spirituality. You absolutely inflated yourself about how spiritual you are, about how you do all these good things. You have allowed the humanness to overtake the spirituality, to distort it and to twist it, to try to appease the little human. The little human now is running rampant with this thing, claiming that God told you to move somewhere. God doesn't care where you live, anywhere. You are God. You make the choices and the decisions. You talk about all of the things that you've done for others. That is your little human crying out for attention. You've talked about all these skills and talents and the degrees that you have. That is your little human, limited human screaming out about how good it really is. You've got this inflated spiritual ego that the little human is running around with, and it's causing you extreme trouble. You've backed yourself into a corner, thank God, because at least what you would call your soul level or your all level, all of your aspects, have an understanding that this crazy little spiritual self that you have created is going to cause all of you great suffering and harm. All the attention is focused on you, but just the little aspect of you, not all of you. So you have literally created a situation. You've hit the depths. You have no place to go, no place to live, no one that wants to take you in. What is this all saying? It's saying no. It's saying no to that spoiled, spiritual, limited human child of you. Part of you is saying we're not going to tolerate it anymore. You have to address yourself. Go in and take a look at you. Let go of your degrees. Let go of studying with a holy man. He's not so holy. I could tell you stories about him. He needs to go to SES, that's for sure. Let go of all the good deeds that you've done for others. You were feeding on them when you did these good deeds. Let go of your spiritual highness because it doesn't serve you anymore. Let go of everything because you're going to be forced to do it anyway. Within weeks, it's going to just blow up on you, and instead of letting go, it's going to explode.
You think of ego in negative terms, like somebody being egotistical, full of themselves, self-centered. And there's a line, a fine line, but it is a line. There's a difference between being absolutely self-centered, where you're feeding or stealing energy from other people, and being self-aware and self-filled, meaning you don't need to steal energy from anybody. You're so aware of yourself and so damn in love with yourself, you don't need to steal. You don't need to make excuses for yourself. You don't have any doubt about yourself, so you can express openly and joyfully. You don't need to hold back. That ego is a beautiful thing. It's the expression of the I am.
Ego is it literally means I go or move forward or express. Ego ultimately is about the creation of aspects that are there to serve you. But an out-of-balanced ego is one where the aspect believes it is the master, believes that, for instance, the aspect of the humanness takes over and thinks that's all there is. Underneath, it knows it's just an aspect. It knows it can disappear like that. So it lives in great fear, and it tries to hide from that fear by boosting itself out. It continually has to inflate itself, and this is what we call an out-of-balance ego. It has to pretend it's much more than it actually is. It doesn't have a true base of love or honor. It has to find its feeding by stealing energy from other humans, having other humans worship it or be frightened of it or whatever you call. It is an errant or an imbalanced aspect. That is the negative definition of ego. But at the core of every one of you, ego is simply means your ability to express yourself in a variety of different manners or through aspects while remaining absolutely integrated, understanding that you are the creator of aspects. So the ego, it depends how you want to use it. It depends how you want to expand or to create. You want these aspects taking over? Do you want the inmates running the asylum? Or do you want to take responsibility and ownership for everything you do, everything you say, and everything you are?